Hey everyone, hope they're having a good day. My name's Andy. My channel is Finding Value. Today we're going to do our daily technical analysis, updated commodities, work our way through the dollar, yields, precious metals, and commodities ETFs that I follow. I'll interject my financial opinions as we go through it together. If you need help with anything, check out finding-value.com. That's where I dive deeper into all these topics and subjects, looking for potential investment opportunities and sharing those opportunities with everyone in the community. I will be releasing a midweek update here late tonight, early tomorrow morning, sharing my opinions about the markets and the individual companies that I follow. If that sounds interesting to you, sign up using a special coupon code. Special is that code. Get 50% off the first month only, and a larger discount on the yearly membership. Let's dive in, take a look, see what's going on today. Starting with the DXY, we've got a little bit stronger dollar today, up 0.3%. Now, we haven't had a ton of follow through here yet. We've got a reversal candlestick, that guy, and it looks like we're holding on so far. So this could be a potential flag pattern that we could eventually break out of. So that is setting up, that is a potential, and it's holding on so far. Looking at yields, yields continue to head lower, but they're doing it in a pretty small candlestick fashion. We're not getting tons of selling pressure, or I should say downward pressure in yields, which means that just got small candlesticks. When I see this, generally you get a surge higher like we've seen, then a flag or pennant formation back down. That could very well be the case, and we could still see yields increase over time. Now, I know Trump and Bissett want lower interest rates, so something to watch. Got a potential positive development where we could head higher in yields, but that may not play out, that way if they start to do quantitative easing or other things. 10-year yield also coming back in these small red candlesticks. No huge reversal here saying that we are for surely heading lower. Um, we've got a lot of support roughly in the general area of where we're at. Take a bigger picture view, broken out of the downtrend. Got this kind of flag pattern that's been chopping sideways, and it's been holding underneath the 4.5% area that Scott Bessent says he wants to hold. We've been pulling back really lightly. Interest rates, we're down 0.81% today. But when I look at these things, this is a reversal candlestick. You get the big surge higher, you get the small candlesticks pulling back. Maybe we get some sort of falling wedge pattern that eventually breaks to the upside or something like that. Possibility. 30-year yield, again, we're getting some small selling pressure candlesticks in that circle there. Got the big reversal candlestick here. Down 0.77% today. We are above or on top of a lot of the support trend lines. Have not broken yet, and that still looks good, like it could potentially go higher in terms of yields. Bond prices are up higher today. There we go, 0.85% on TLT. Been working its way on up. Now, this thing fell from the top side down substantially. Could be creating a retest move where we fall lower TLT, which is bond prices. So perhaps fall out of that, come back up, roll over again. Very much a possibility. 2 in the 10, down, uninverted just ever so slightly. You have kind of like a shoulder head shoulder deal maybe going on. I don't know. That still hasn't made that pattern yet, but that's something that we can watch. There we are at a still high level where it could still uninvert. That is generally the time when a slowdown occurs in the market. YX TNX ratio, we were up just ever so slightly today. So stronger dollar, basically a flat TYX TNX ratio. I would guess that we'd get a slightly lower gold price. Gold's down $16.6 an ounce. It is consolidating here. And we're looking for, are we going to get a larger consolidation? My take is the longer term and mid term momentum is up. I think this is just a short term pullback consolidation, whatever this thing looks like. I'll tighten that up when we get more trades and more days in there, candlesticks. But right now we're just chopping sideways. Got silver up 0.36. We haven't eclipsed this resistance line. There is still the possibility that we could roll over. I don't see reversal candlesticks here. It still looks like we have the potential to try to break through, move on up. So I'll remain cautiously optimistic that we could potentially break higher. It's all based off of this bigger candlestick bullish engulfing and then the smaller candlestick flag pattern. If it wants to break, it can do it here. Again, we're underneath the resistance trend line. We blew through that to the downside. So that a lot of the times what I've seen in previous charts, break through support, come up and tap it, then you roll back over. That is also on potential list here of what it could do. Platinum's down 1.3, still squeezing like a beast. Here we are. We've got palladium down 1.5%, and that's still squeezing inside of its pattern here that we continue to put in there. So it's above a nice strong support line, that guy. Underneath resistance, pushing it on down. Squeezing to decision point here. Buyers and the sellers are going to have to tip this in one way or the other, in either direction. And we'll see where it goes. XAU to gold ratio down slightly, kind of chopping sideways here. Above support at a very low ratio for gold and silver mining companies. Gold. GDX down 1.89%. Got GDXJ down. We've got SILJ down, and they're all roughly the same. Keep in mind, we went up, hit some resistance, kind of flagging out here a little bit, creating some sort of pennant formation. That looks to be the case for all of them. We'll see what happens there. Might get another downdraft move in the short term, depending on what gold and silver do. Crude oil down 2.88%. Got this bearish formation coming on up. We had a bearish engulfing, another bearish engulfing, making comments that we could potentially head lower, are heading lower here in the short term. We'll have to see what kind of follow through candlesticks are. They're big red candlesticks, could accelerate to the downside. If they start to really shrink up, and then we come to support down there, could see potential reversal candlestick at some point do a double bottom. But at that time, it's too early to do that. Right now, the momentum's to the downside. Pretty strong closing candlestick to the downside, and we close towards those lows towards the day. There it is on the longer term, bigger picture. Still bearish in this time frame. TF gas down 2.19, still bearish, and momentum still to the downside. I see no reversal yet. Natural gas in America popped a little bit higher yesterday. We're up 0.78% today. And we're kind of in the off season for seasonality. Nat gas moving higher. But yeah, we'll see it. We'll continue to monitor it. Got some support down here across the boy XOP. Yeah, you know me, down 0.67%. This is still holding on at this exact moment. Oil moving back. We want to see how this behaves. If it holds on and just trades sideways, We may try to put in a bottom in oil, do a double bottom. If we start to sell off with big red candlesticks, that's the market throwing in the towel on the equities. We'll see a further pullback. Oil could also be a driver of that. You have upward rising wedge here, which is generally a bearish formation, break lower in the short term. That is formed. OIH, also we've entered this from the top side down and we're squeezing in the corner here. Very well could break lower. Oil continue lower and we'll throw in the towel on the equity. It does look very bearish from a longer term perspective. Broken the upward channel, downside, chopped a little ways and broke to the downside here. The momentum downside, and we could still see further downside in OIH. Looking at Newcastle coal futures, we're up about 1.5%. We got some support here at support. Get any follow through higher. Raw physical uranium trust down slightly, down about 4.4%. We've had a nice little jog higher here, and we're getting a little bit of resistance with these little candlestick wicks at the top. Could see a little bit of a pullback in the short term. Still in the big flag pattern, and yes, I still think that we could get higher, and we're above a lot of support. Uranium futures pricing looking better, up 0.75%, and that does look like it's bottomed and starting to turn higher. So that looks pretty good. Futures pricing. URA up 0.34. Could be. I mean, a lot of people are looking at this saying, well, maybe we throw in a shoulder, head, shoulder bottoming pattern. That's potential. I'll leave the line there and we'll see what happens. Got URNM doing something very similar, a little bit of resistance up here, running into. URNJ doing the exact same thing. Could this be inverted shoulder, head, shoulder? Nickel up 0.12%. This one, we're not getting a lot of buying pressure here. Still open to move lower for nickel. We'll have to wait and see what this looks like. Got the large surge lower here and struggling to move back up, which makes me think it's going to roll over. We have to see what the follow through of that rollover looks like if it decides to roll over. Copper up a little bit, and again, we're next to these big red candlesticks. And notice that we're losing momentum as we are going up. So got a lot of selling pressure coming down. We're coming on up. We're trying to move up. Now, don't have reversal candlesticks yet. It could easily be a flag pattern that we accelerate to the upside. We need to see what kind of follow through we get here, upward, or if we get a reversal candlestick that's a big red, bearish engulfing or something. OPX down slightly. It's still holding on. Looks okay. Kind of just flagging out to the side. Lithium's up 0.44. I think this looks good. We're up against resistance here. We're trying to break through. What I like to see, these little flag patterns that look like this, those generally break upward. Everything looks okay here at the moment. REMX is doing the same thing, and they do share the same, they share similar stocks in their holdings. LIT and REMX do. That's also a flag pattern that looks like we could potentially head higher. Iron ore down 1.4% of a gap. It's also like they're rolling contracts over. That's still chopping sideways, squeezing on up. Aluminum up 1.5%, at least getting some buying pressure there. Does kind of look like a flag pattern though. See if we can get any upside momentum or if the seller's going to come in here and sell it off again. Baltic Dry Index up 2.18%. That's turned and it looks like it's trying to get back up to that long-term average of 18. Emerging markets up slightly, holding on, still above support. Blue up 0.445% underneath resistance, the blue line, this upper blue line there, acting as resistance. But we do have a reversal candlestick, this big wick at the bottom, the monthly candlestick, if it creates one this month. Very well could break through all this. So that's one to watch. It's move, breaking to the upside. We strength in wheat and soybeans and some other ones that potentially could be bottoming too. Area 0.9%. It's way on up. And again, we're next to these large selling pressure kind of downward move, but it looks good on the right-hand side. We've got these nice, tight kind of flag patterns that are developing, which are bullish. Higher. XHB down slightly, but that's a flag pattern to move higher. And home builders are generally a leading indicator. I don't know if the worst has been priced in and this is ready to move higher. It sure looks like it. That will transpire into other areas too. Russell 2000 up a little bit, 0.56, not bad. S&P trying to break through. It looks pretty good, not too bad. Then the Nasdaq doing something very similar, bullish engulfing. Looks like we could higher. We'll see if the follow through comes. SMCI down 3.4%, looking like it's trying to do some double bottom. Got Nvidia up 0.27, and that's in with its trend line there. Eventually break to the upside here and start to run. We haven't created a new high. We've got a low, a higher low to break through that trend line, create a new higher high up there, and that would look a lot better. Bitcoin up 0.64. That's broken through resistance. That looks good to go on up. We've got Ethereum up 0.87, and that's just dropping sideways. Still looks good to go higher. Got the initial lead in, the large green candlestick, and then sideways consolidation, more or less just a flag pattern channel. MicroStrategy up 3.3. That just continues on up. Then the VIX is down 4%. That's been heading on lower, just like the cent made his comment. It looks like volatility is very. But that's what I've got for today, guys. Give me a thumb up for the content. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to the website. We got that midweek update that's going to be released. Special coupon code if you'd like to join. That's all I've got for today. We'll catch you next time. Finding value.